voice of it. Alright. So what we've done so far is just basically taking off all the plastics and the carburetor, and then next we just got to take off the exhaust, and then from there we can put the motor on top dead center, and when we get there we'll show you how to do that. Good?
Yeah.
Might be difficult to see from the video, but all we're doing right now is rotating this around till you see the letter T, and then that'll be putting the bike on top dead center. Alright, so from this point there's 3 bolts on the other side. You got that little...
Oh, I set it over there.
This portion right here, I'll show you in the video. There's 2 8mm and 1 10mm in the center. And once you remove that one, there's a long bolt that comes all the way out. That'll actually remove the sprocket cover. So that means we got to rotate it around one more time. Good. Alright, so when you got it set up correctly with the T at the top, there will be a little mark right up here, be just about at 9 o'clock point, and then that'll be, you know, your cam and everything's good, so it's at top dead center on the on the piston. And right now, ready?
Yep.
Okay. Right now all I'm doing is removing the 5 bolts that hold the head on. Since we already got the cam gear off, which just so happened to be an 11/32 socket. It might be metric, but it fit on there perfectly.
Okay.
So for right now, after we remove the 4 bolts up here, one of these will have a copper washer. You just got to take note where it's at. And ours, it was the bottom left one. You know, and then we can slide the head off, just like that. There you go. Ready? All right, so now we basically remove the 1 bolt right here, and then this is an idler sprocket. It's like basically just a bearing wheel on the inside of the motor, which we already pulled out. And then at that point, the jug should just pop right off. Sometimes you got to get them a little wiggle room, but otherwise it'll just slide right off of there. And you might lose a little oil. We decided not to drain the oil. So if you want to, when you go to do this, drop the oil. I'll grab a little pan. Alright, so now all we did after we got the jug off, there's a little clip right here. It's hard to see in the video. And all I had to do for this engine is just basically pinch it a little and pop it right out. Piston out. We had to fight the piston ring, or the collar. I know there's probably a technical term. I'm just trying to put it back to normal. And then after this, when we get to the next step, we're going to be pulling the new piston out, and we'll show you how to put the rings on correctly. Alright. Ready?
Yeah, that's where we're going.
Okay, so as you can see from the stock piston and the new piston in there, just a little bigger, and this one is more domed than the other one. And right now all I'm going to do is put in one of the C-clips in, which this will be orientated with the IN will be facing upwards in the motor. So what I'm going to do is put on this side over here, which will be towards the clutch side. I'm going to put in one of the C-clips, so that way we don't have to do it later. And then when we get ready to put in all the piston rings, we'll get there, which we can actually put this in on there. So for right now, what we're going to be doing is putting in each ring, and then this is basically showing which orientation each one of the rings. And the top one's going to be kind of shinier, and then the middle one is going to be black, and then you're going to have your 2 oil compression rings, and then your oil ring. I know there's a technical term, but and then well, we'll go through it as we put it on there, but this is from T-Bolt USA, and it actually shows, if you go through it, how to do it correctly, and we'll link this with the video. Alright, so what we're doing right here, I put in all the rings. Basically all you got to do is just spread them open just a little bit, and then you can work them down. You work from the bottom down, which is each one of your oil rings. You put the bottom one, or the oil compression ring, which is just a little wavy one. You always want to make sure it's not overlapping at any point. It just basically sits in there. And then you take each one of the 2 smaller, thinner rings, in, and then you got to orientate them to where the opening ends, which you can see right here. Each one will have its own, and I'm gonna have to readjust them as I go to insert it. But what I'm gonna do right here is I'm gonna just basically stick the inside of it just to where the rings are just on the inside of this, and then I can slide it in on the motor. Then I can slide in the collar, and then put the other C-clip on, and then slide it all on. But first you got to make sure you got to clean off the end over there on the motor, and then we can put on the bottom gasket. So right here, this is a little oil gasket. You had to pull it off from the old jug, which it was right there in place. And then all I'm going to be doing next is putting on the gasket in between the block and the jug. No, I was meaning like with your
I do
your
like
hands.
them like this more.
To that point, it would be good to go.
No, touch on.
Oh, the head studs.
Oh shit.
Here's the top.
We're catching on this one. Now try it. Now it's pretty much just putting everything back together.